Hey guys, Redneck Computer Geek here with a legitimate, if it's free, it's for me, lawn tractor. But give me a sec to get this tire mounted and we're going to talk about a scam that's been showing up on Marketplace or on Craigslist that I want you guys to be aware of. But first, let's see if we can get this quick mounted. So we got some Dawn dish soap. There we go. Now we just grab the Insta inflator. Laser scope and everything. Score! Alright, so a lot of you are going to say, okay, Neil, if it's free, how can it be a scam? What's the scam in free? And here's what's been going on, and I've been seeing it show up more and more often, and I saw one already that showed up today on Marketplace, so I want to talk about this. What's happening is there are dishonest tractor flippers out there. I know, horrible concept, but I hate to burst your bubble, there are some dishonest ones. So, what's happened over the course of the last few years is that scrap metal price dropped, transfer stations and dumps now charge to get rid of tires, hoods, dashboards, a lot of your rear cover pieces became plastic, which means you can't get paid for them at the scrap yard, and you have to pay to get rid of them. So what the dishonest flippers have started doing is they pick up a group of machines that all have interchangeable parts. For example, they might decide to target stuff like the Troy-built MTDs, the 1045 Cub Cadets that are MTDs, and they might target some Yardmans, which are MTD GTs of the same kind of idea. They take all the good tires, they take all of the good motors, they take all of the good decks, and they build a couple of tractors out of them, they sell them off, and then they take everything that is left over that was junk, and they half blank term all of it together, and they push it out to the side of the road, they take a picture of it, and they post it up on Marketplace, or they post it up on Craigslist, and they say, free for the taking, curbside pickup, blah, 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 blah. You gotta watch out for those. If it's got more than 2 or 3 things on it that it didn't come with from factory, there is probably a good chance you're trying to go and pick up a if it's for free, it's for me scam. They throw blown rear ends into them, and then they don't hook up the shifters so that you can't check the rear end. They put it in, they make it just good enough that it'll roll. That way you're all enthusiastic to get it loaded on your trailer or on your truck. They'll take the motor and they'll put the motor on it, but they'll make sure that it doesn't have a starter on it so you can't test it. The other thing that they'll do is they'll take a blown motor and they'll spin it enough so that all the chunky parts are out and away so it's not clunking anymore. And then that way when you go up and you go to spin check it and you don't hear any clunking noise, similar to the motor that I did a video on. If you guys want to see that, I'll post a link for it on a video where I had a motor that did that. Somebody had turned it over to the point that all of the chunkies had shifted off to one side and you couldn't hear it making bad noises. The other thing that they'll do is they'll swap tires around. If that tire is weather cracked and it does not have a tube in it, and if you're doing this, you should be able to tell whether it has a tube or not, and that tire is pumped up and it is perfect, when you go out there in order to go take a look at it, something's fishy. The easier that machine was made in order to push up onto a trailer, push up onto a truck, there's something wrong. check the deck. Reach in, try to turn those deck pulleys and things like that. A lot of times what you'll find is they took the rebuildable deck and they swapped the one that was junk in underneath, and all they did was put in a couple of pins. I've even seen it where they don't even pin the deck in. They literally will take framing zip ties, like the 2-foot long zip ties, and they'll run it around the frame, they'll run it around a piece of deck, even a hole through the deck, and they'll zip tie it to the bottom of the machine. Why? Because they want you to take it. If you live in a town like I do, you cannot take lawn tractors to your transfer station. They will send you away. They will tell you that you have to take them to the nearest metal recycling facility. The nearest metal recycling facility for me, even with my Ford Ranger, is $10 worth of gas round trip for me to make it out there, and that's an unloaded truck. Your tires, in order to dispose of, most of your places around here, no matter what the tire is, it's a minimum of $3 per tire. Your disposal place is going to require that you drain all of your fluids. All of your fluids are going to have to go to a different disposal location. Ironically, the transfer station that told you to go bugger off, usually. And some of those places charge a disposal also. So there's another thing you got to deal with. So just to get rid of one tractor, you've got to go to upwards of 3 different locations to get rid of everything legally the way you're supposed to, at a cost of upwards of $20 to $30 per tractor. If it's free, it's for me, guys. Be really careful. Watch out for that scam. One thing I'll tell you is you'll notice those scammers because the curbside freebies they will post on Marketplace, but all of the machines that they sell will get posted on Craigslist or vice versa. The other thing that they'll do is they'll store those machines up, and at the end of summer, when they're done with those and they're trying to clear the yard, all of a sudden you'll see them. The other time of year that you'll see them is right now. They will decide to post them all out. They'll get them off of the front yard, and then they'll post out the machines that are actually up for sale that have all the good parts on them. Watch out, guys. The dishonest flipper scams have started to get worse, and I just don't want to see any of you kids get stuck with bum transmission, bum mowing deck, and a bum engine all on the same tractor. Watch out. Have fun, guys. Keep flipping. Keep them going. Oh, and on a positive note, I'm sure you guys want to see what this freebie was. So, it's a Troy built, and it's got 2 good rear tires. Transmission in it is an MTD little very dry POS. It is what it is. And the little Tecumseh is what he was running for quite a while, and actually was pulling some wheelies on this thing. And it ended up throwing a rod, so this is done for. It is what it is. He did the pulley swap on this using the method of drilling through the crank, which I thought was really interesting. I've actually only ever seen people do that on YouTube. I've never seen one in person, but that's what he did here. He drilled the crank, put a spacer collar on it, and then put the 1-inch pulley over the top and had it running. That's a pretty cool idea. And this tire here was a little deflated, but I think it was just that the bead had given out due to not being maintained. So there's a salvageable tire there. There's a salvageable tire there. That one is still good. No sidewall cracks. These ones here, you want to be careful when you watch these. They usually crack right here on this line. And at a quick glance, it blends in when you're looking at these to see the quality. So watch right here where this edge is. Like the Carlisles, they all crack right in here where the lettering is. A lot of your Toro turfs and stuff, they crack right here. These ones with this really low profile, they crack right in here and you don't see it sometimes. So watch out for that. And a real miracle is that it came with a deck that's rebuildable. And what I want to show you is this spot right here. So this is the back of the deck towards the rear of the motor, the rear of the mower. And this right here usually is rusted out and gone. And what happens is people are mowing with these things, they hit something, they catch it, and this whole assembly goes down and it slices through this area in here. The whole thing turns sideways and then it bends and it snaps these. Now, it sucks that both of these are seized, utterly solid. There's no moving them, but that is intact. That is intact. That one and that one are intact. And there's a hood there. And ignore the oil filter sticking out. That'll be in another video. You don't see that. So there's the hood. And it's in good condition. And what's interesting about hoods is always check your plastic connections. Always check where the plastic connects to the front of the hood. That's a good indication as to how well they've been treated or not. And I really like these Troy-built hoods because the way it comes in and around, it cups the plastic front and they're a lot harder to go and break. This was actually used off-roading at my friend's place. You guys have seen videos out there. I'll post a link for the last time we were out there. And these hold up. So I'm thinking about converting to some of these on other rigs. But there we go. That was our freebie that we grabbed the other day. I mean, look, that seat's even intact. How cool is that? There we go. Happy tractor flipping.